Hi, this is Shane with the Rational Trader. It is Wednesday, the 16th of May. And today's market looked quite a bit more normal than yesterday. Was pretty crazy after the that big fall at the news. Yeah, here. And we saw a really volatile day. Today was much more normal. No live trades before I stepped away. I started trading. I was supposed to start trading at this green line. This green line here on the left is 6:30 when it opens. I'm still being cautious and starting at 6:45 or 7:05, depending upon the size of the overnight range. Though the volatility appears to be reducing, so the lower the volatility, the earlier you can start. I actually had a mistake, so I ended up missing a code that showed up in here for that long. Some of my members caught it. It was 121, which is it sees this the attempt to turn there, and then it predicted failure. So members caught 6 or 7 points there. New 7 o'clock, and then all right. So then we get long here. And the codes, I don't have the codes listed because I've been doing replays and other work. So unfortunately, I don't know exactly what the code was here. Though it looks like a breakout. So you're breaking that level right there. And I'm also trailing to the zigzag. So that's what these pink and blue lines are. I might need to make them thicker for the videos. I think that they're a little harder to see. In any case, I'm testing the trail to the zigzag instead of just a hard 20 tick trail, which we've been using. We keep seeing we get taken out just as the market's about to continue higher. So I'm live testing this. I think I've got it working now. So this is what we're seeing here is we get long at 25.75. We advance, we get to break, we get to scratch. And in this particular case, what I'm doing is I have an 80 tick target and a 40 tick trail. And so it looks to me like it trailed to that 40 ticks. Or it canceled at the zigzag, and then we took a couple ticks of slippage there. In any case, 2 ticks. So what would we have normally gotten? Let's see. 25.75 to 36.50, that would be 11. So at least 5 points is what I would have gotten instead of nothing. Okay, so that's a data point. I've been running tests to see overall what's better. So far, just the 20 tick trail is pretty good. I ran a test with an 80 tick target and 40 tick trails for like my baseline period, and it was not as good as just a 20 tick trail. A lot less trades though. I thought that was interesting. Okay, so then we get short here. That looks like a failed break. So I don't have the code, but breaking higher there. Prediction is failure, so we wait for the next down bar and get in right there. And we get 4.5 points. What was the total we got? 20.75 to 06. So we got 14 points and then made 4.5. So it gave back the 40 ticks we're trailing by. And then this is what's heartbreaking is that I did not get a signal here. Now it's hard to say if that's just because the order flow doesn't look long there on that break or this pullback, or if it's because the model is built for volatile markets, and this market is much quieter. So let's review that real quick. So my result is plus 100. If we look at the daily chart, what we see here is we're looking at this is the average daily range, and we're looking at that. If that gets below this red line and stays below it, then I'll start building the models for quieter market conditions. So we'll see if it continues to be not too crazy, then probably this weekend I'll be switching back to normal markets. I'm of two minds about that because the volatility is fundamentally unpredictable, so it makes things more difficult. But having said that, I went live in here in this area with this system in the middle of some really big volatility, and then spent some time figuring out what to do about that. And I feel like I finally understand what to do, and now it's kind of going back to normal. So normal is good because it's what the system was built on, and I understand what the sort of what the expected outcome is over time. But the volatile markets, given the kind of the adjustments I've made and the rule sets I've developed for those trading conditions, are the replays show some nice profitability. So we'll have to see the next time it comes around if we'll apply. I know exactly what to do now. We'll immediately apply those sets of rules. See if we can't take advantage of some of this volatility. Do it in our favor rather than be owned by it. So the members, you guys know what those rules are. We publish those in one of the weekly updates, and every morning we review exactly what I'm doing in line with those rules. The other thing that I am working on here now is so we're testing this trail to the zigzag. The next thing is to do an add. And so if we look at, say, let's look at, say, right here. Let's say we got short here. Then what we'd want to do is we'd want to add, like right there. We want this pullback to happen and then add. Or depending on where it is, add on the break. There has to be enough room to pay for it, is my rule. So that you have to have enough profit in the trade to then pay for the add. You can't take more risk. I like it to be flat, so that means you need 30 ticks of profit in the trade. And then it would be the same thing here if you'd gotten an entry, say, on that turn. Then you'd be looking at that break or this little pullback right there, or that pullback to add to your position, and then you're just going to carry those contracts as far as you can. In this case, it just goes super straight. Ultimately, you'd like to add again right there. So one step at a time. I got the zigzag trail working, and now I'm testing to find what are the best parameters if I'm just trading a single contract. Now I'm working on adding to that position. This is more about Sierra charts functionality than it is about machine learning per se. The rules that govern should you add, you can apply the machine learning actions to. So if the machine learning predicts a long, then you could add on that. But the actual work here for me is just figuring out, well, how does the spreadsheet study work when you add to an existing position? So I'm going to work through all those issues. All right, that is it for today. We'll see what tomorrow brings. It is, Thursday? Yeah, 2 more days.